Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank all of my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/bsmpod for continuing to support me in what I'm doing. Big shouts out to my senior producers, Ventus Official, and Mom and Dad. Love you all so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everyone tuning in. We have another exciting episode, and we're recording live for the first time in a little while. You know, I do miss having chat to distract me. One or two people pull through. There might be some new people because of the person that we have here tonight. It is Brando from chat, aka NYC Brando, aka some of the best bars that you'll see in the Melee community, and then an amazing stream runner, all around amazing person. Brando, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing all right. A little tuckered out. Had an early day today. Doing some production stuff at OS for this event that we had earlier, but I'm all right. I'm feeling good. Got my Wawa. I've got the homie. But this is like almost 3 years in the making. Like, sheesh.
I do feel like I've been attempting to get you on, but I try to, let it breathe a little bit. The person who I have tried to get on for the longest time now, it might be Caro Copy or whatever the exact username. Caro is a 64 player. I've also been trying to get on JMook for a hot minute shortly after Genesis 8. So, it's been baking. We have some buns in the oven, but I'm really happy that we're getting this into the light, that you're here now, because we, like you said, I think it was a while ago, some of the first streams that you were starting to do for Nightclub specifically, because that's where I would see you either in front of the camera briefly as you tell someone something on the mic, or maybe even doing some commentary yourself. I would go, that just looks like a swell individual all around. This seems like such a cool person. I need to get Brando on at some point. So it's been a while, also because you have a lot of things going on. So what is there to even start with? Maybe, how about this? You shared a little bit of what you were doing today, early start today. What do you think a normal Tuesday looks like? Because you usually don't have this wide of a evening slot open, right?
Yeah, I'm usually at OS at this time on Tuesdays. So I normally start my day. My days are normally very early anyways. I'll usually wake up at around 7-ish. I got to be at my first job at 9:30. It's I work at a high school as a school aide. It's gotta take care of the children, right? The future of America. And get your sevens in chat.
Hey, I'm taking care of just 2, and that feels like a lot. You're surrounded by more than 2.
Oh, yeah, dude. I think the student body is at least 1,800, and that's just for the school that I am in. So there's 3 schools in the building. There's one that's District 75. Yeah, so there's the school I work for, which takes up most of the building, and it's this District 75 school, which is like, for those students that might need a little extra help, right? They might have a disability, or whether it be mental or physical, right? They just need extra help. So they take up a portion of the 3rd and a portion of the 4th floor. And then on the 5th floor is a bunch of I know you said you don't mind cursing, right?
You are you're allowed to go all the way out there and come back.
Fucking little shits, and a bunch of bastards, a bunch of middle schoolers that like think that they're super sick, they're so cool, and they haven't hit that empathy bubble yet, and it's like, oh god.
They haven't hit the self-awareness bubble either. They have no self-awareness. I know exactly what you're talking about. We would have kids from Philadelphia come out to Lancaster County, kind of like a fresh air program kind of a thing. Not exactly bar for bar fresh air program, but we get these kids. They've never been outside of Philadelphia in their life, but they're middle school age as well. So whatever the latest rapper was, a hip hop artist at the time that everyone's listening to, they're just emulating that person to me, and I'm going, you're 10. So you are not all that, in fact. But, you know, I'm trying to be gracious. I'm trying to let them express themselves. And it's a shame that the normal expression is nothing but the worst of humanity. But, you know, by the end of the week, there's a little bit of something. There's a light there for just a split second. And then they go back to Philly. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, shit, they probably emulated Uzi quite a bit. I mean, Uzi's from Philly, so that makes sense too. Not that Uzi is a terrible guy or anything, just maybe 10-year-olds shouldn't act like him.
Maybe not listen just yet, but hey, like I get it. I wasn't there to judge. I was there to try to help as best I could. So I knew what I was getting myself into, especially after the first time. It was a little jarring the first time, going like, what? But then after that, I was like, okay, I know the drill. I know how these kids are. And, you know, some of them would come back, actually, and it'd be like, hey, it's cool to see you again. Okay, let's go. And, you know, we get right there. We get there, you know.
I'm almost a fully formed human now. Hey. What's up?
But that's just what you're doing during the day. So what happens after school hours?
After school, I thankfully work very, very close to the venue, but I go to OS. I usually work at OS Monday through Friday, excluding Wednesdays. But Wednesdays, you know, I'm still there. I'm still there for the nightclub. So I'm fortunate enough to have been working at an environment that I love, right? And with staff that I care about quite a bit. And you know how people say if you like it, it doesn't feel like work, right? It's not work. You enjoy it. It can be work some days.
Oh yes.
Especially now that I have been given a supervisor role, or rather not given. I will say I earned it.
Yes, you did.
You know, circumstances be damned. I earned
Facts.
where I am now.
Facts.
I think everyone's working really well together. Everyone's gelled super well. The corporate synergy is going crazy right now. So I think that that speaks to why we're doing so well on that front. And I think I'm very, very fortunate to be on such a great team, like one of the best hospitality teams I've ever had the pleasure of working with, being around, being served by, you know, because I was a customer first. So and I have gotten pretty lucky with the teams that I've been on, because I also am super fortunate to be a part of the NYC Melee team, and we've done some incredible things both in that space and out of the OS space. So here's to some more. You know?
Okay, so were you also gaming at the time around or in Melee, or were you specifically there for drinks and then you go, oh, I could work here? What's this Melee thing that they do every Wednesday night? So just tell me how this all came to be. I would love to hear it.
So the Cliff Notes version is, I used to go to Hax's nightclub, and then when that shut down, and then when COVID came around, everybody was playing Slippy, right? Everybody was doing their thing. I came back to the nightclub, and Jeremy was running the stream, and I was getting to know the OS teammates a little bit more. Because there was a team from prior to the pandemic, and then a new team after that had some leftovers still, or rather some carryovers, not leftovers. That sounds like the verbiage is bad.
Leftovers.
The verbiage is not great, but there were some carryovers from the pre-pandemic team. So getting to know them a little bit more, getting to know the then NYC Melee team more. I weaseled my way in somehow, and Ryobeat and Jeremy both gave me an opportunity to, you know, fill in for Jeremy. Jeremy wasn't able to make it one week, and I had done some streaming before on my own accord. I used to stream pretty often like when I was in college, and it was all right. Like I got affiliate, right? I had a little bit of a know-how. I knew how to work a capture card, but uh, eventually Jeremy wasn't able to come more often, and work took over. So I became the primary technical director for NYC Melee's The Nightclub series, and I think I took over either at the very end of season 1 or like half, maybe a little early into season 2. Whenever we still had widescreen at the time, like we were still playing widescreen on the monitors. If that goes, that's how far back that goes. And the general manager at the time at OS, she was sitting at the host desk at the front. She was just macking, and I'm like, "Are y'all like hiring here?" And she was like, "Dude, we think the world of you. You're super professional. You're on time with Melee. You do this, you do that." And I had an interview with Joshin, and that's my fucking goat. That's my guy. I love Joshin. To the day I fucking croak, that's my goat. And I'm sorry, sorry if I'm like getting stuff out of order. This was around the time that Function 2 was getting ready to come out, or is it the first Function? It might be the first Function.
Oh yeah,
I'm so
Function
sorry.
1, that's a throwback. That happened a while ago, feels like by now.
Function 1 SSBM. I am so sorry.
Ooh.
I don't remember.
Yep, me neither. Ginger won the first one, then who won the second one? Was that Aklo?
No, Aklo won the first. It's the other way around. Aklo won the first one. Ginger won the second one. So this is around the time of Function 2. And my first day was supposed to be, like, after I got hired, my first day was supposed to be the Function 2 day. I was like, oh shit, oh god, oh fuck, can y'all please? And they were like, dude, fucking relax. Like, we got you. We understand that Melee is very important to you. Go ahead. We'll get you started on another day. And then I got started on a Friday, and Fridays were the hell hour at OS. So I got started in the fire. And I picked up the culture super fast there, and I guess that's why I have a little frustrations with some other people. But that's me. Like we have completely different experiences. So that's me being a dummy. It's just me being a little goofy, a little goofball up here. Anyways, that's how I got started. We started as a competitor. Like I barely played. Competitor, producer, work at OS, and now I do other things.
That's crazy how many things you do, though, because you also have done some content as well. Now, if you were streaming back in the quote unquote ye old days, then that means you probably had a little bit of that content brain just kind of somewhere down in there when you started thinking, we should like do some extra stuff. And they go, oh yeah, like what? And like, well, I could write some bars. I mean, I could do other things too, as how I assume you said it. But come on, a lot of people like that, like some of those videos that you were dropping on last year, and even I feel like you did stuff for Function 1 and Function 2, but maybe I'm getting it wrong. You tell me. What's been your favorite thing that you've produced that's not? This is a really cool transition for the stream. Like, what kind of video or content did you really enjoy producing these past couple of years?
So first thing, right, the transitions mostly have been done by like other members of our graphics team, or they specifically for the nightclub, they've been repurposed from Hax's Nightclub, which was made by people on the EMG team. Thank you so much at EMG for that. And I don't remember if I did anything for Function 1. I think I just ran the side stream for Function 1. And as far as content that I've produced, I've had so much so much cooking in the back, right? Like there's a lot going on in the noggin and a lot going on in the notes app. So there's stuff that's outlined, and I think it's some of my best stuff, and we haven't gotten to make it yet. But as far as stuff that you guys have seen, I know a lot of people love the Function 2 rap. And I of course am very fond of it. I think a lot of people found the Function 2 that way. I think it was good advertisement, and I want to do something similar again for Function 3. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
We will get there. We will get there. And I mean, hell, it got Bum like reinterested in Melee again. Like he started checking out the nightclub because he also runs his events like Heatwave and Bum's Birthday Bash at OS. So he came across the nightclub, and he also saw the Function 2 trailer, and you know, we might work on something in the future. That's also something, a little wink wink nudge nudge, right? There's been good stuff that has come out of the Function 2 trailer. But I still think my favorite thing that I've done was the trailer for Zayn versus Cody for the Fight Club. I think that's still my favorite because it was like I was coming off of a binge of epic rap battles of history. And
As one does.
like, it would be really funny if they would like spit bars at each other, and then I made them spit bars at each other. So I wanted to say thank you to the producer who helped me on that. Unfortunately, that producer that helped me work on that and the Function 2 song is no longer part of the community. So I'm still giving credit, just not gonna say their name, right? Like, I'm just saying it was not a one person thing, and I'm very thankful to the people who are around me that helped me make these things.
So that kind of means that you're going to have to do it in a different way for any upcoming projects, anything that may or may not be coming down the pipeline.
Yes, and I'm still not doing it alone, just doing it with a different team member this time.
Well, you already have the proof, so it's kind of like you show it to someone and they go, "Oh, word," and then you're off and running, hopefully.
Like off the dome, like Five Fingers of Death, some Sway style stuff. I'm not doing that. No shot.
Okay.
No shot. I'm not like a freestyle guy ever. I my brain does not work like that. I've taken like 17 pauses in the past 20 minutes alone. I'm not. My brain it doesn't cook like that. But there's something about being on like public transit that gets the juices flowing. I have every song I've ever written, or every bit of poetry, and anything I've done artistically, creatively, has at least had the building blocks start while I was on the bus or on the train. So shout out to the MTA. You suck, but hey, we get there.
It's
some magic that happens on there.
One of my favorite YouTube videos, period, spanning all genres, is the saxophone battle that happened in an NYC subway.
There's magic underground there's something there. Yeah, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, kid. Fucking, you got talent. I want to show you a little something. Come to my studio. It's an alleyway, and I'll fucking stab you.
Whew. We're not even underground right now.
Just like randomly walking on Wall Street, like, hey, come out to my studio, I'll fucking kill you. It's like, oh well, I guess. Gee Willikers. Everybody walking down the street is the next Barry Gordy, and you're the next Frankie Lyman. They're just waiting to get a lick off you. That has happened to me before. Not getting stabbed in a studio, but like getting approached by someone who is a little shady.
Well, how could you be a how could you be a proper New York City living person? New York Cityer? What's it? New York Cityite? What a New Yorker. Sorry. How can you be a proper New Yorker if you're not being approached by someone who could just kill you if you take the wrong if you press the wrong chat response on the windows of text that come up to you in this NPC conversation, you might just be dead. Like, I feel like even for me, I've visited New York a few times, a fair amount of times, because I have family that lives there in Manhattan. And it doesn't matter if we're on the island because people still be crazy.
People be crazy everywhere. I don't know if you're a big fan of Mass Effect at all.
I am not, but please, by all means, say something that the people who do enjoy that game will recognize what you're referencing.
So in Mass Effect, there's a like morality system. You're either a paragon or you're a renegade. And in New York, if you happen to walk through life being a paragon everywhere, all the time, you only choose paragon, you're still gonna get clapped at the end somehow. There's something about this person who's a little too nice. So so you need a couple renegade answers here and there. So the fuck is you talking about? Get on my face. Like, you need a couple of those, or it's like you'll get eaten up.
Okay, so what I like to do when I'm in New York City is walk faster than anybody, which may or may not be challenging. But it's easy to do in places like Times Square because nobody's walking fast there. I hate Times Square for this very reason alone. But I just try to walk as fast as everybody. So to the point where, in general, I feel like I'd be walking fast everywhere.
Put her there.
I'd be walking fast everywhere, and nobody understands why. But I'm just like, this is East Coast. We are going somewhere, are we not? Why are we out here except to go somewhere? So let's hurry up and get there. So yeah, that's the thing that I thought made me the most New Yorker, even though I'm not a New Yorker. I thought, you know what? I like walking as fast or faster than any of these people. So that's how I can kind of blend in. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't take you very long to figure out this guy is extremely basic.
Very, very milk toast person.
I'll just walk so fast you won't even get to talk to me. Like somebody starts talking to me and I just like look at the ground and I keep walking. Like that's the only superpower I have. I can't do rock paper scissors. I throw a rock every time. I'm gonna lose. I gotta keep going.
I don't know about that. I think you also have another superpower. It's being a dad.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, you know what? I will claim that. Today, so here's a story from today specifically. Let's immortalize this. Yesterday, Ezra was on his little scooter. Ezra is 3 years old, and he loves being on his scooter. He's gotten very good at the scooter. So you know how it is. You are very careful at first. You say, slow down, go slow, and he just wants to go fast and everything. Now he knows how to ride it, and you're like, okay, we've leveled up. He can go faster. You know what? I don't have to be hounding him and helicoptering him the whole time. You know what? I could just sit down and watch him go back and forth, back and forth. Wow, this is great. But yesterday he fell off of his scooter, and we get him cleaned up. We put the Band-Aids on because Band-Aids be what they gotta be, which is essentially, if Ezra had a broken heart at the age of 3, he would ask for a Band-Aid. So that's what Band-Aids are to him. Band-Aids are very important. So today he wakes up and he's like, I can't walk. And I'm like, yes, you can. I can very clearly see that you can walk. You know why? Because you were doing it last night. And he's like, but my boo-boo hurts. And I go, all right. So throughout this entire day, instead of making him walk, I carry him from place to place.
You gave in. But you know what? He'll never forget that. I think it's little moments like that I personally don't forget from my childhood. Like I don't know what to call this guy. Let's just call it the guy my mom was dating at the time. He used to carry me fucking everywhere. We used to go to the waterfall all the time, fucking DR. I will never forget those moments. That's my fucking guy. R.I.P. Wheelie. I love you very much.
So I hope he remembers me doing kind things for him in some capacity, because yes, I say to him, Ezra, you can walk. I want you to do some walking today. I know why you're a little bit bothered, because your band-aids are actually rubbing up on your cut. So you've stopped bleeding. We should take the band-aids off. And he goes, no, I need them to feel better. And I go, okay, well, this is perfect. It's on his knee. So because of this, like, you know, moving up and down, straightening and bending, he's like, if it moves at all, he perceives pain. And there's nothing in this world that Ezra hates more than being uncomfortable. He has such an attitude when he's sick or whenever he has a cut. He went 3 days in a row without wearing a shirt, because I think he somehow got a cut on his belly somewhere, and he was like, it's rubbing up on my cut. And I go, you gotta wear a shirt, dude. But then he didn't wear a shirt for 3 days, so he might not walk for 3 days, but that's because we're waiting for that cut to feel better. It is what it is.
Jeez. Hey, man. Kids are a trip. Hey, you know, we were talking about employees, you know, with and trying to instill the culture in new employees. That guy's going to be new for a while. So you've got a lot of culture instilling to do, but I believe in you, man. It seems like you're doing a pretty decent job so far.
I'm trying to be as kind as possible. Yes, I am. While also understanding, like, as long as I understand he's taking me for a ride, then I'm fine about it. I hate being got twice. So I just make sure that I tell him, Ezra, you can totally walk. That being said, let's go downstairs. And then I carry him down the stairs, and it is what it is. He sat outside for like 4 hours today because it was such a beautiful day today. And there's your happy ending. He had a bunch of stuff that Ellie, his older sister, brought to him. She kept bringing him stuff from the shed. We have some stuff in the shed for them. She kept bringing him things, and he just sat there for 4 hours happily playing the whole time, not ever once complaining about the fact that he can't walk or that he can't go anywhere. He'll say to me, Dad, I want that stick over there, and it's 5 feet away. And I'm like, you can't like shuffle your butt over there. And he's like, no, I don't really want to do that. And I was like, okay. And then I grabbed the stick and I gave it to him.
I like the balance though. It's like, hey, mama ain't raised no fool, but daddy is racing a hustler. What's up, man? I'll carry downstairs. All right, pimp. You want this stick? I got you. No problem.
If he does more than me, I think that means almost as much as me succeeding, quote unquote. So that's the thing I got to be careful about. I don't want to be that parent that's yelling at the umpire in 2 years about, you know, that was a strike. You can't call it. That was a strike.
I was inside. You fucking jack off.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that dad.
Just got the bud like, you blind, you cock.
So how about this? You do a lot of things on the technical side. Did you see that Short Hops had the custom Melee art on the beer cans and the custom beer? You see this?
Yeah, that was so sick. Gene, I don't know how he does it, man. I only have to measure. I've only had the pleasure of meeting him once, but he's super cool and very creative. Clearly, you know, working with a brewery to not only make Smash related brews, but to like run a tournament based on the brews. Like, that's so cool. What a way to integrate, you know, like the Smash community's two favorite things, alcohol and the game. So
I had the pleasure of being there. That was the first time. I've had Gene on the podcast before, but I got to meet him at Short Hops, and super great time. I don't drink myself, but I got to take a 4-pack home with the designs. They're super sick. Now, is there anything that you've ever thought to myself, I want these two things to mix? Beer and Melee do mix quite a bit, so it's not out of left field, but would you want to try to bring something that's sort of Melee-esque together with Melee at an event? Or do you think, no, I want to go left field. Let's have some kind, like, I see these people having, like a free flow, free rapping, freestyle rap battles. Or how about the people who do the loop station battles? What if we do that and Melee at the same time? What if we I don't know. I'm just pulling off the top here. What if we have it on this weird farm somewhere where there are horses and you can ride the horses, but you can also play Melee? I don't know that is ever really going to happen because that sounds like a bad idea. But is there two things that you think to yourself, if I could mix Melee with this, that might actually be a really fun time? Is there anything that comes to mind for you?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't thought that far out of the box.
Okay.
Frankly, like, and also that might just be because I don't have much bandwidth, having like 16-hour work days basically, or maybe even more than that.
That's fair. That's fair. Tell me about the Redemption Rumble. How does that all materialize? Because it feels like Brandon just kind of comes from the top rope and is like, New York City event, baby.
That's literally exactly how it goes. Like, there's like, the ultimate struggle. It's the mega powers. It's VG boot camp. It's Panda. Fuck you and fuck you. And then all of a sudden, fucking Swanton bomb. Oh my God! It's Brandon out of nowhere. You with Beast Coast, and I forgot who else might have been involved in the event. But
probably Ludwig, maybe. Hopefully,
Redemption Rumble was crazy. Oh, and that's pretty much it. Like that's it, it's exactly how you said. It just coming straight off the top rope. So of course, we all got blindsided by what happened with whatever the hell, like it's still not clear what exactly happened at the end of last year, but it just had such a quick turnaround of like a week and a half. Like, hey, we sort of want to do an event to ring in the new year, and we're trying to make it go crazy, go a little stupid, and we want the New York scene to celebrate and ring in the new year with us, because I think, because Brandon was with Beast Coast at the time. Beast Coast was like, "Hey, let's just run this event. Let's get it. We're New York based, and the New York scene is fucking nasty. They'll come through, and by God, did they come through in droves, man! I'm so happy Redemption Rumble turned out the way that it did. That had no right going as well as it did. No right. It should have been a goddamn disaster. But I'm so sorry. But I think that's like one of the events I'm most proud of, alongside the Function 2, of course. Function 2 and Redemption Rumble are probably the events I'm most proud of because of the really quick turnaround. And it's also one of the most stressful events I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
Because I never, and it wasn't because of the turnaround. I think the only reason that the time crunch sucked ass on that was because I needed to learn how to work with brand new equipment in like 2 weeks, and I needed to also procure brand new equipment out of my own pocket in like 2 weeks. So that was really fucking whack. That was the only whack part, but I just so happened to be wearing this shirt. Like, I did not plan on wearing the Apex 2022 shirt, but if I did not get asked to work on this event, I would never have been able to see the talent behind the Melee side stream or rather the main Melee stream for the first 2 days of the event for Apex. Shout outs to my man Kelvin Espada. I don't know, he might have changed his tag recently, but Kelvin, if I never was behind the scenes able to see him work and the gear that he worked with, Redemption Rumble would have been on monitor and not CRT. So the fact that they were like, hey, we're going to source CRTs, it's going to be crazy. And I'm like, at least not like, it wouldn't have been all lost, but it definitely wouldn't have looked as good as it did. I have like my old streaming equipment from when I used to speedrun Super Mario 64 still. So that would have sort of been a solution.
Oh, people in Twitch chat would have been just so degenerate about like, why isn't it Super HD?
People would have shit and pissed and cummed themselves. It would have been bad, and mainly shit and piss. And people on Twitch chat are known to do that. So.
Very well known to do that. Absolutely. Now, does Grand Finals have any bearing on how awesome those events turned out to be? Because especially for Redemption Rumble, the Grand Finals was that's like a top 5 set of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it did.
No, that's right.
Yes, it did. Yes, sir. The hero of time does it again. My lord. The like crowd carrying part was so sick. I wish I would have been able to capture that better, but like I said, had to acquire a lot of new shit at like last second, including like new cameras and stuff. So we were like strapped on that, but at least there's a crowd cam of the stage dive or whatever Aklo did. Like I've lost the name. Like it's literally escaping me now, but I think you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. And hey, I'm thinking about it right now, and we don't have BTS anymore. We don't have Beyond the Summit bringing us Summit events anymore for Smash, and in particular for Melee. But you know what? As I'm thinking on Redemption Rumble and remembering my experience of watching that tourney. By the way, the only time you met Gene Dalla was at Redemption Rumble, right? Because I know Gene was there for at least part of it.
I don't remember meeting Gene there. I met Gene at like a random ass nightclub.
No, because Gene
been the AMSA one that I met him at personally. Like I probably said what's up, but I actually spoke to him.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. No, there is a difference. Dimension came up to me at Shorthouse and said, I listened to the podcast and ran away. I was like, wait, come back. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about how you feel this translate. I felt like there was Summit vibes at Redemption Rumble. So now the good news is that the end of the year for 2023 is a long ways away. If there was another call to action, would you try to lean into that for another Redemption Rumble? Or do you think that there's someone out there who's better equipped or has more resources to be able to reproduce a little bit of that Summit vibe? Because I do think you can't have all of it. The shop, the voting, all of that seems like a lot to pull off, because there was a whole team behind BTS, a literal entire team making those events happen. And we're talking about Smash people. We don't have a lot financially speaking, and the people who make it happen, Brando, you know this, the quality of that stream, the tournament sets and everything logistically happening and working out, not a lot of actual people behind the scenes. You would always probably say to yourself, even if you're at a regular nightclub, it'd be nice to have a couple of extra pair of hands, but you just don't. So when you think about the possibility of another Redemption Rumble and trying to emulate more of the Summit vibe that people are going to start missing pretty quickly, I think, does that seem feasible, or do you think there's someone else out there who's better equipped to do it?
I think that there's like still a lot of talent in the scene that if they get together will make magic, but I'm like not I'm not saying I'm not equipped to do it by myself. As far as like production goes, I'm slowly building stuff. As a matter of fact, you can probably see in my camera right here, right? There's like boxes and stuff that I'm pointing at. Those are all pieces to a stream PC that I'm building so that I can use it for travel or use it for the Function 3 or any other events that we might be working.
My
piece
goodness.
by piece, right? The only thing I'm missing is the graphics card at this point. I've got everything else.
Yeah, graphics cards are not cheap, but all in good time. All in good time.
I feel like I don't have that much time, right? Like there's I've got maybe a month and a half to
Oh, that's
pull
interesting.
something together.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting. Very interesting, right?
You are
wink,
providing
wink,
a
nudge,
lot
nudge.
of details. Shout outs to
I'm-
whoever's listening intently to this. So you should be viewers and listeners. But anyway, shout outs to y'all for following.
I'm an open book, right? Like if something's coming out of my mouth, it's like, or if someone has something to ask me, right? The answer's coming out. Of course, I don't work on these things by myself, so I'm not saying, hey, this event is happening on this day. There's a secret coalition of talent that's actually making a new event or whatever. Like, okay. Sidebar, real quick. Prior to CLG's death.
No, Brando. Don't tell me you had something cooked. No.
Prior to the passing of CLG, there was something that hey, everyone can dream, and it was a pipe dream, of course. But I was trying to have something within the next 2 years, have a Melee event at MSG, Melee and Ultimate.
Yeah. That's a perfect lean in. Dadgummit. Cody just had to go to Michigan. That's the reason why this all happened. No, that's not.
No, it's all Cody's fault. No.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
It's of course it's not. No, it's
somebody.
And it's no one's fault, right? It's just like
corporate America's fault.
It's late stage capitalism, right? We can't have nice things. We can't have nice things forever, and that's just because I had so many little links to CLG, and then I had one bigger link, and bigger link moved, CLG broke apart, so I have nothing there. But it's still a dream to maybe do an event there one day. Is it going to be with NRG's help? Is it going to be never? I don't know, but I've got big dreams, and I'm not someone that's going to give up on them because of this. So, sidebar, we are back on track. The sidebar is now on the side. I think I have the potential to form a team that will give a quality viewing event, right? But as far as TOs and anyone doing stuff on the back end like merch or fundraising, anything like that, stay tuned for I've worked on events with Brandon recently, trying to donate to whether it's Black-owned businesses and Black-centric causes, or the MADE, the Museum of Art and Digital, the art and oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name, but it's like a video game and media museum that's in NorCal. When we did the NorCal Classic 2, that's what the donations were going towards. So that was very, very cool. It was super sick to be flown out, work on that event with Jade, Connor, and Brandon, and all of the NorCal scene that came out to support the invited players, the open bracket people, and the MADE venue itself. Thank you to everybody who made the MADE possible. Thank you to everybody who made the Nightlife episode 2, the Nightlife 2 happen at the museum, the Academy of Sciences. I think that's what it was called in San Francisco. I've been traveling a lot lately, and like I said, maybe I'm running out low on bandwidth, but I'm maybe missing some details, and definitely missing people to thank. But thank you to those people. You guys know who you are, and none of this is possible without you. So,
yeah, well, I want to talk about Bemi, but let me put that to the that I will ask you that after I ask you, so why are you still doing all this? What are the 16-hour days for? What is the constant traveling all about? Why do you put yourself through this while acknowledging it's a lot to do?
The 16, 17, 18, 19-hour days, that's just so I could live comfortably, right? Like I, don't have much time for myself, but it's so I can live. And one of the reasons that, well, really the main reason that this took so long, this meeting of the minds took so long to happen is because of my living situation. As we get into like, hold on, I'll get there. My living situation, I got taken in by my best friend from high school's family, and I was living with them for maybe 4 years after my family was evicted from our home, and I'm forever grateful for that. Basically, like I'm still in New York because of that. I would literally be living in Ohio otherwise, with an old friend from like online gaming and stuff. If it were not for Marcus's family, I would not be in New York contributing to the scene, working at OS. All the dominoes would have been affected for sure. So I was super eternally grateful for that. But it was as far as like making noise goes, right? Like it's not just restrictive, but I was trying to be like respectful, right? Because I was sleeping and living in somebody else's space. So I wasn't able to do a lot of online events or any podcast interviews or anything of the sort. Now, as we're transitioning to Bemi and how that happened, I was asked to be a part of the first Bemi, like the one that was the first Bemi online? The first two were online.
The first two were online.
I was asked to be a part of Bemi and contribute some way, somehow, whether it's commentating or I wasn't asked to be a player. I think it was to commentate or to help run the stream. And I couldn't, I literally didn't have the resources. I wasn't allowed to have more than one monitor for a while. So at the time I only had one monitor. I just didn't have the resources to do so or the space, right? I couldn't be loud. I would have background noise. I couldn't have a camera. I didn't want to intrude on anybody else's space that I was living with and their privacy and whatnot. So it was just the culture was different. And it's not like it was bad. It's not a bad different. It's just restrictive to those kinds of opportunities. And now that I got that job at OS, and I have nightclub, and I have my other job, all those funds together allowed me to move out and live with Phil Nolan. I live with Phil Nolan's my roommate. That's my fucking dog. He also saved me again from moving to Ohio. Now, Brandon lives in Ohio, and there would have been two Brandons in Ohio. That is not a very let's go Brandon situation. I will say that. That would not have been very hype. So that is really, really fucking funny. He saved me from Ohio. Marcus saved me from Ohio. Those two are, I owe them everything. And, now I'm getting to this point financially where I can just work one. So soon I will be only working at OS and working on nightclub. I'll be able to give more of my time to other freelancing opportunities and production. And that led to Bemi, because I was free from school, obviously, because it was like New Year's, right? We were on holiday break, and I had free time. So having this free time from the school allowed me to have the free time to do Redemption Rumble. And the trust that I earned from doing Redemption Rumble, not only with Brandon, but with Cav from Beast Coast and Jade and Connor, they put me on to do Bemmy and Nightlife and NorCal Classic too. I knew about NorCal Classic and Nightlife really, really, really early. So I am really, I guess, personally fortunate that the Mega Powers thing happened, where there was like "fuck you VG" and "fuck you Panda," but obviously that was overall a very shit thing. But if that didn't happen, I don't think I would have been able to do Bemmy. I don't think I would have done Nightlife. Don't think I would have done NorCal Classic 2, and I don't think I would be doing any other non-NYC Melee events. So that was very cool. Oh, also, Apex. Would not have done Apex without a lot of this. So Bemmy was definitely an experience, definitely a big learning curve, because I had to incorporate not only Melee and any other like commentary stuff, right? Any working with equipment that I don't own, but also having to work with new equipment that I do own, and rushing to get the funds to get that, rushing to get the funds to get the like luggage to get all my production equipment there. And then Cav, shout outs to Cav, paid for my Pelican. Shout outs to Cav, love Beast Coast, love Cav, specifically Cav. Beast Coast is also very cool, but I specifically very much love Cav. That's my goat. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked, I think, in my brain. Oh, yes. Learning curve. If you watched Bemmy live, specifically day one, we were pretty late because of I was literally missing one piece of equipment to make cards cameras work. One of the south like Southern Melee players cameras work with my stuff. So that super sucked balls being late. I felt like I had let Brandon down, even though he was like, hey, it happens, right? People are late sometimes. But we shaped up, right, throughout the weekend. And I still feel like that's like one of my worst days as a producer, broadcast lead, technical director, whatever you want to call it. Because I felt like I let him down, and people were supposed to go see the Hawks play, right? I think that's what it was. I think the Hawks were playing, and they didn't get to go because we ran over time by 45 minutes. So it would have been big crunch time to get to the stadium, to the arena, to the ticket booth, to get tickets, and then it'd be like halfway through the first quarter or almost to the second quarter by the time they got there. So this is all like, damn, I ruined the whole weekend. I'm getting super overwhelmed, and I don't do well under that kind of pressure. But I'm mainly the one putting all this pressure on me. Like Brandon, Jade, and Connor, they were like, dude, fucking relax. It's not that serious. I mean, it is, but it's not. And then it's like, fucking, I'm like, again, thank you to Phil Nolan, who was also there contributing to the content portion of Bemmy, which is another thing that was like new to me, incorporating content, both pieces that were made on the spot and pre-made, like YouTube stuff, trying to get that all to the public seeing eye. And sorry if I'm talking a lot, but that's just how fucked I was in the head on day one of Bemmy.
Yes, because another summit-esque situation, you're asked to do more than just stream matches and also work with new equipment and be in Hotlanta. There's a lot going on. And people want to go see a Hawks game for some reason. Look,
It was mainly for Lunary because he's coming from Belgium, right? So we're like, hey, American sports, let's go. Even though
American
there's
sport. Yeah. All right, that's fair.
give me the
Okay.
experience.
Now I'm starting to feel bad. You're right. Oh, that's tough.
So if you feel bad, I definitely I still feel it now.
I wasn't feeling bad until you said Lunary wanted to go, and now I'm like, oh no, no.
I think Lunary ended up having a pretty fun time that evening. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie. He and Juan and the rest of the super talented players that came out when it had a little bit of fun at karaoke and whatnot.
They made it a fun evening anyway. Cool. Well, there you go. There you go.
They made the most of it. They made the most of the night.
Which is surprising because there's not a lot to do in Atlanta.
Some people would say otherwise. I guess the people from Atlanta, maybe.
I'm being sarcastic. I just hope that somebody out there understood what I was going for there. I've only driven past Atlanta, but let me tell you, there's like 8 lanes on the highway. It is crazy.
Yo, big boys, big boy highways. Like that shit was crazy.
Also, people will point guns at you if you cut them off. Like, you gotta be careful going out there.
Thankfully, Chandler, who curated the event, had carpools set up for everybody to travel from the hotels and whatnot to the venue. Thank you, Ohan, Chandler. Fucking, I would have fallen apart also without you. That was he made they made it a very good experience for all of us, not just for myself and for the TO team, who I've mentioned them a lot, but I cannot sing Jaden Connor's praises enough. They are so super talented at what they do. Please, someone give them big money and let them do a crazy event. Just let them do this for a living. They're so incredibly good at it. They're so talented, and I appreciate them so much.
I really hope that Ludwig gets Contra and Jade involved with whatever big event comes down the pipeline for the Ludwig stuff, because who out there is better to ask? Of course, I try to give love to any TO I've had on the podcast at the very least. I mean, let me lead into this. This will be the last question that I asked for tonight. To one of the TOs out in Baltimore, Neil, aka Bard, who runs the monthly series, and they have usually around 80 people show up to these monthlies, which is great, and just getting a lot of people from MDVA, a few Philly people, and then I lead a carpool down from my region of Central PA, 717. Let's go. Shout outs to 717. But Neil, he wants to know what makes you want to go to a tournament. Is it the food options being good around the venue? Is it a 24-hour venue situation? Is it the fact that the stream is so high quality Gucci, like goated sauce? What? Those were not Neil's words. Those are my words. I'm paraphrasing. What makes you want to go to a tournament for you, Brando? What makes you want to go? Even if you might literally be working it, what makes you want to go?
It's the community. It's the community. It's the people around you. If you are at an event and you're miserable because you went 0-2, it's like, oh, fuck, man. You went 1-2, you went 2-2. It's like, oh, shit. But you've got the fucking homie Yokai Nels to your left. You've got I Love Brooklyn 99 to your right. And you've got Ja, you've got Drew, you've got Ryo Beat, you've got Cat and Smuckers, you've got all the homies around. It's like, man, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. You've got You've got people like Patty. You've got people like Fast helping set up, break down. Frank, shout outs to Frank, Type Saucy. Shout outs to Clem who helps put these community events together. Toussaint, happy birthday, Toussaint. I think it's today or it's tomorrow. We're celebrating it tomorrow. So if you're in New York or you're the tri-state area, want to come into the nightclub, celebrate the ace of all chat esports. I transferred it from JFlex to 2. So fucking sue me. I transferred it from JFlex to Sue. JFlex wants to leave all chat esports. He's not the fucking ace anymore. The ace of ACE. They're the new one. Anyways, if you want to celebrate two incredible people's birthdays, Tu and Clem, of course. I think there's also another birthday that we're celebrating low key. I don't remember. Is it JoJo? I don't know.
JoJo. My favorite Captain Falcon main.
Hey, we're up here. We're here. We're right here, pal. Tito JoJo. Hopefully they're coming out tomorrow. I'm personally actually not going to be there tomorrow. I was supposed to be off this whole week. I had a long ass day yesterday. Had the ninja event today. And you know what? Really, I'm just like super tuckered out. You say, what makes you want to go out to an event, right? What makes you want to go to a tournament? It's the community. But honestly, guys, I need a little me time. I've been community pilled for a while. I just need this week for myself. I was gonna enter, but I think Patty's got it. Patty's did a great job the week that I was at that I flew out to Cali. Patty did a great job. I'm sure she'll do an even better job this time. That was just her first time working the stream for Nightclub. And worst case scenario, I'll just parsec in again from my phone. Oh God, I forgot about that part of Bemi. Oh,
I was waiting for you to mention it.
I totally forgot about that part.
You were just busy enough on the first day.
Yeah. So this is like when we flew in, and I met up with Lunary and Chandler. Took us to like the best chicken sandwich spot I ever had in my entire life. And then after we arrived at the hotel, he was like, hey, I'm about to head to Walmart. Do you need anything? I'm like, dude, I need a keyboard and mouse. I'm going to use Brandon's PC and we're going to go. And I did not know how Brandon's nuke, the Intel nuke worked yet. So I was like, not getting any image from the hotel TV. I'm like, this is so fucked up. It's the train wrecks. Fucked up day. That clip went through my mind, and I actually just went absolutely berserk on my in my like head and heart. I was so tight. I was like, we've never missed a week. We've never missed a week. This is such bullshit. How is this happening to me? And Joshin, my goat. He was like, dude, just like parsec in. I was like, what? but like from my phone, because I was always gonna parsec in, but I had just switched from iPhone to Android. If I was still on iPhone, that nightclub stream would have never happened, and it was all possible thanks to this phone and this stylus. I was just sitting on my bed. I should not have been sitting on the bed, honestly. That fucked up my shoulder for like 2 weeks. But I was just like this, just the whole time, just oh, all right, type it in. Cool. All right. And I had to like monitor both. I had to maneuver on both monitors using my phone, and that sucked big ass balls. So I'm glad people got to watch the stream that week, and I'm also even more glad that because of how scuffed it was, Coinbox was still operating on Wednesdays at the time, so no one even fucking watched. I was like, yeah, I got VODs, and no one even had to watch that atrocity. But people still took note of it, which is cool. I was on Reddit for the first time ever in my life. Like someone posted about me on Reddit, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is bad. I'm on Reddit. What the fuck? Someone's complaining about me, 100%." And no, it's just the RSSBM was showing me love, and I was like, "Hey, all right, maybe it's not all that bad." But I'm sure if I ever have a big level event that I'm doing, like one man summit level production for, and I fuck up, they're gonna be on my ass like white on rice. So I that's what this is for. This is all for to make sure that shit like that doesn't happen. But yeah. To answer the question again, community.
That is all the time that we have for today, and we've gone for almost an hour and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes? Jesus Christ. And I was really worried. For full transparency for people who are listening to the pod, I was like, this has been coming up for almost 3 years. We're finally doing it, and I still don't know if I'm an hour of interest. Like I don't know if I have our interesting things to say, but we're at an hour 15. And I feel like we still have more to chat about. Maybe
that's the thing. I want to chat more, but I am tuckered out as well, and we both need to rest up. You need to rest up more than me because I have not been working, these 20-hour shifts. But let's just get rested up. When we talk again in 3 years, we'll probably just a lot more time to it. Or hey, maybe we'll talk later this year. I'm fine if you DM me at a random time and be like, can you do this time? And I'll either say yes or no. And if yes, then it's meant to be,
I'll have more availability after the fall for sure.
So things, it sounds like, are starting to improve towards viability of making your life be where you want it to be. That's great. Being really busy, that is super tough. But you know what? I'm really loving the fact that the people around you are giving you an opportunity and you're making it work one way or another. You're making it work and flourishing more often than not. You're not just constantly jerry-rigging. You're flourishing more often than not. So that's really cool to hear. And you're going to be one of the people who brings Melee enthusiasts such as myself and yes, even RSSBM. You're going to bring us memories that last for a very long time, if not forever. Again, the NYC tag versus the Cal tag. I won't forget that of Kadoran versus Aklo. I won't forget the hero of time. And actually, that stuff was really cool, but I don't know. It would have been also just as cool, maybe even cooler, because Aklo's first set against Kadoran at one of the random nightclubs of a while ago had like a 3-1 stock comeback or 4-1 stock comeback on FD or something like that. And that's still one of my favorite matches that I think I've seen in the post-COVID era of Melee. No, actually, I think Aklo was down 4 stocks to 2 and then took 4 stocks straight, something like that on FD versus Kadoran. It was, I just like was, I could, it took me such a long time to fall asleep that night, dude.
Dude, oh my God. And now that you say that, now that you remind me of how that match went, it went game 5, like not last stock, but I think it was last stock actually. Maybe it was. It was like down to the wire for sure. Now that you're reminding me of like that, I was on production at that time. Like I was on production for that event. So that was one of the events like with the shots I'm like most proud of. It's like, getting the cut to the pop off from the crowd.
Yes.
Like, that was so sick. Getting JoJo and getting fast with the point,
Yes.
Hitting one of these is like, hey. And looking back on that, like the layout of OS is so different because there's like the console station is there, like where the crowd is. So, yeah, man, this was a nice trip down memory lane, and hopefully we get to do this again really soon and with more events under the belt.
Or we'll just talk about, stuff in general, because I think we like talking to each other. What a surprise, two Melee enthusiasts, and for yourself, you understand so much more about the production world than I do, but I love hearing the little nuggets of information that fall from you. So this is all around great. I'm looking forward to a next time down in the future. Thank you all for listening. Brando, we'll play the outro and then we'll do the thumbnail. But in the meantime, please, by all means, say goodbye to the people.
Bye-bye, people. Thanks for watching. If you stayed this long, make sure to watch the nightclub every single Wednesday. Watch Coinbox every other Tuesday. Watch after the nightclub is over, if we do it, run it on time. Watch Mid Lane Melee in Chicago. Please show love to all of your locals. If you have a local near you, please go. Your local community is the strength, it's the backbone of Melee. Yeah, it all started with, we didn't have Slippy, we didn't even really have Anthers Ladder back when like the scene started. It started with going to your friend's crib and saying, "I'll beat the dog shit out of you in Smash. What's up right now?" and plugging in the controller and playing, getting some snacks, being with your friends. And we hope we make more communities and more friends, larger communities, maybe even larger friends, fucking like it's big boy season, right? Hey, for another 20 plus years. This is the forever community. And I hope I'm around to see however many forevers that it lasts for.